Hello and welcome to the Mad Leprechaun. My name is Mert Walsh. Well, they say every day's a school day, and today is no different. Today I got to find out what the KTM 1290 Super Adventure S feels like. Now, if that's something that interests you, please do stick around and stay tuned until after the intro. Well, welcome on board the KTM 1290 Super Adventure S. Now, I know this bike has been out for some time, and lots of people have done lots of reviews on this bike. And the new bike is coming out very, very soon. And KTM very kindly said, "Hey Mert, the new bike's coming out soon. Do you fancy riding the old one? So you know what the old one feels like compared to when the new one comes out." So I went, of course, that'd be fantastic. I'd love to. So every day's a school day, people. Every day's a school day. So far, I'm actually amazed just how sedate the engine feels. Yeah, I know. Now, an awful lot of people go, "Oh my god, the 1290 Super," and get all excited, and yeah, I'm sure you probably could ride it like a complete lunatic. But it lends itself to poodling along, and I know that's not what this bike is all about, but I want to keep my license. I think the point of the exercise today is to try and school myself on how this 1301cc engine develops power, because the new bike is going to be slightly larger. So they call this the 1290, but it's actually 1301cc. It's 75 degree V-twin, 4-stroke, liquid cooled, 6-speed gearbox. I think it's 160 brake horsepower, which on paper, when you look at it, you go, that's intimidating. That could be too much of a bike for me, couldn't it? And that's why I do the reviews the way I do my reviews, because it'd be great to ride a motorbike and get your knee down, get your elbow down, followed by your arse. But I'm not that sort of rider. I'm just not. I'm just an average run-of-the-mill average Joe. So that's kind of the review you're gonna get. Yeah, I'm holding it in third. I don't want to break the 30 mile an hour speed limit, and I can tell it wants to go, but it's not like it's frantically wanting to pull my arms off to go. So this bike has got the White Power Apex suspension on it, as opposed to the Adventure model, which has the Explorer White Power suspension. Whilst on the topic of the suspension, it is electronic and semi-active, and clearly a lot smarter than me. It is handling the bumps and the lumps really, really well. I have to say, the way it goes into corners is impressive, and that's what this piece of road is all about. Brakes work a treat. I can really feel what the front end is doing, which gives me an awful lot of confidence in that front end. Wow, what an engine! What an engine! Wow! It's a little bit vibey against my knees where I'm gripping the fuel tank with my knees, but nothing, you know, nothing stupid. It's mildly vibey. It depends what gear and what rev you have it in. Right. Well, that didn't disappoint. That was really nice. Seat slightly harder, if I'm honest, than I'd like, but there's more than enough room for my bottom, but very little give in it. So I'd love to know what the Adventure R feels like. Is it a little bit softer? Is it a bit harder? Is it tall? It is taller, I know that, because this is definitely lower. Because I've done the blurb on that bike. Okay. We'll see how many people are at Finchinfield. We'll pull over and give a little bit of a walk around, and I'll read you out what I do know about this bike. I half expected this bike, when you're trying to maintain and sustain 30 miles per hour, or, you know, kind of the legal speed limit, I kind of half expected it to be kind of I want to go, that kind of chuggy kind of feeling, and it's not. It's, yeah, it's anything but. It's, dare I say it, smooth, because it is. It's smooth. There it is, in all its glory. One touch again, switch it off. Cool. Well, there it is. Not the green one, the orange one. It has to be orange. So this bike comes in grey and KTM orange. So there is your TFT screen, speed, revs, engine, traction control, oil, ABS even, temperature, clock, trip, and how many miles the bike has done. Over here on the left-hand handlebar, clutch, thankfully, your lights for high beam, low beam, and flashing. Get out of my way! No, that's for coming out of the menu. You've got your cruise control option. It's got active cruise control on this bike, and hopefully Ben will tell us more about that when we get back to the shop. This brings us into the menus and navigates through the menus. Indicators, horn, and a reset button down the bottom. I think that's for the cruise control. I may be wrong. I'll find out for sure. It's a keyless ride. The key's in there at the moment. You could probably put a phone or something in there. Keyless ride, so push once to fire the bike into life. doesn't start the bike, it just brings it to life. Then kill switch will come up on the dash like that. Take the kill switch off, kill switch disappears from the dash, and then one touch and the bike starts. There is a favorite switch, so you can have favorite 1 and favorite 2. Favorite 1 is set to your riding modes, and favorite 2 on this one is set to the suspension, and I'm not going to play with it. So when this bike came out, they talked an awful lot about how they had changed the geometry of the bike. The headstock was moved back by 15 millimeters and the swinging arm was lengthened by 15 millimeters. The engine was rotated by 2 degrees in its mounts. All of this helps the bike's handling and keeps the front wheel planted on the ground. This bike comes with the now legendary KTM 3-part fuel tank, which holds approximately 23 litres. So there is part of the fuel tank kind of down one side, down here, and another part of the fuel tank down here. Kind of falls down one either side of the bike, and that way keeps the centre of gravity low. The suspension is by White Power. It's called Apex Electronic Semi-Active Suspension, 200 millimeters of travel front and round the back. It's also White Power Apex suspension with 200 millimeters of travel. The ground clearance, as this is the sports version of the adventure bike, is 223, and the seat height, let's pan back out, is between 849 millimeters and 869 millimeters. Depends what option, what position you put the seat in. There is various different seat options that you can buy for this bike. As I understand it, and I might be wrong, I think there's 11 different seat options for this bike. The wheel and tyre size up front is 120/70 ZR19, and round the back is a 170/60 ZR17. Brakes up front are by Brembo, 2 Brembo 4-pot piston radial mounted calipers. The discs are 320 millimeters, and round the back is a Brembo 2-piston fixed caliper. The brake disc is 267 millimeters, and the final drive on this bike is chain. The bike weighs in at 220 kilograms without fuel. The lights on this bike, your daytime running lights around the edge, high beam, low beam, which come on automatically as you ride the bike, cornering lights down the bottom. This is part of your adaptive cruise control in the middle. LED indicators, nice and bright. I also like a tail light. I can't tell you how much other manufacturers really should take note. Please leave tail lights where car drivers are used to looking at them. The price on the road, as I understand it, is about £15,300. I might be wrong in saying, but I think there is a bargain to be had, because this is a peach of a bike, but because the newer model will be coming out soon, they may let this bike go at an absolute bargain. And now you're all saying, what does a 6'5" bloke look like sitting on the Super Adventure S? That's what a 6'5" bloke looks like sitting on the KTM 1290 Super Adventure S. Actually, feels really nice to sit on. Hello. Yeah, feels nice. Slightly firm on the seating. Slightly firm. Mirrors work an absolute treat. Right, that's enough waffle, I think. Let's pack it up.
get back on it.
Oh, what I remember, the screen is adjustable. You undo the two knob, one either side, and you can adjust it to suit your needs. The screen has given me quite a good amount of protection while I've been riding along. No buffeting in the helmet area, and I can't really feel like there's an awful lot of wind turbulence around the sides of my jacket or on the front of my chest. So I do actually feel quite well protected. I should try the cruise control out, shouldn't I? Nope, that's clearly not how you do it. That is right. So the set or reset button down by my thumb, you switch the cruise control on at the top, but set it with your thumb down the bottom, and that will do 35 miles per hour. Can I change gear? Yep, I can change gear as well, down through the box and up through the box whilst it's in cruise control. Negatives. Right, let's get on to the negatives. The only negative I could say, I'm sure I can think of one or two, and the first one is definitely the seat. For me, it's too hard. If you're used to a sportier ride or a sports bike, you won't have an issue with it at all. Wow, there's a lot of traffic. But for me, it could be a lot softer. KTM could be a little bit more imaginative with their colour. They could be a little bit more adventurous. But if you like orange, it's absolutely fine. I really did expect this to be really ultra chuggy at low revs in town, and it's not. I love the front end. I'm not in love with the rear end. Not that it's horrible, it's just the front end is far superior. I can almost feel every little undulation on the road. So the front end gives me bags of confidence. The rear end, not so much. So I'd make the rear end mildly stiffer. It's that little initial bounce on the stroke I don't like. Nationals! I mean, the bike is actually quite a big bike, but with me on it, it actually feels really small, and that's not a criticism. So you don't feel like you're riding a huge, massive thing. It feels, yeah, sporty. Confidence coming out of a corner, turning on the tap. Is awesome. Oh, it's a torque fest. It's just an absolute torque monster. But it gets up to city speeds as well. Oh, the mirrors, by the way, the mirrors are awesome. There's no tucking and looking, literally just look in the mirror, you can see where you've been. The end, they work. Bit of an odd shape, but hey, they work. Massive, massive, massive big thank you, as always, to Jim Ames Motorcycles in Braintree, Essex. They've been very, very supportive of me throughout all of 2024. So thanks ever so much, and long may it continue. If you have enjoyed this video, what I've tried to put together for you, please leave a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed it for any particular reason whatsoever, please feel free to leave a thumbs down. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section below, and hopefully, all being well, I shall see you in another one. Until next time, people, take care of yourself, ride safe, bye-bye.